What up, people? It's your boy Chig, and you are through to the Combat Show. Joining me, as always, is my partner in crime, Ola. Say hello to the people.
Yes, what's happening, people? God damn, I'm happy. We're back again. Week of fights. Last week, I thought there was a fight. I thought the card was coming on last week. But obviously it's this week, and it's an early one as well. People remember that it's an early one this week. 9 o'clock start on the prelims this week. But yeah, glad to be back. We're happy to be back.
Now, I promise we're not turning this into a regular habit for the show. We are still a threesome, but obviously last week I wasn't here, and yesterday and now today, William is not here. So apologies for that. Obviously, things happen, and
Family emergencies and stuff.
family
So
emergencies. So he's just sorting that out. So good luck to him and all the best to him. I hope you guys are all well. Very much apologies that we're late. Um, Combination of technical difficulties and business discussions, shall we say. So, yeah. So, we'll just have a little conversation. But what that will mean for you will be very interesting changes over the next coming months. So, me and Ola just had a very frank discussion, and I think I'm actually excited by it. So we'll see what happens as a result.
be
So,
excited.
what? Huh?
Be excited.
Be excited.
Like just
No, no, not the Josh Kroenke version. No, that's the bullshit version. That's the actual version. Of be
for
excited.
real, for real.
Yes. Um. So I hope you guys are all well. People in the chat room, do me a favor. Quick tip. Takes you a couple of seconds. It's free. It's more or less effortless. Just stick a like on this video. Just quickly stick a like on the video. It really does help. I know you don't think it helps. I think you think this is just a YouTuber thing to say it helps. It helps the algorithm. It helps us get momentum. Stick a like on the video. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. It always helps the show. Hit the subscribe button. We're building. We've got 228 subscribers. We want to try and double that by the end of the year. Let's see if we can get more than double that by the end of the year. And the changes that we're going to implement, I'm confident we'll do that. So make sure that you guys are able to help us with that and grow our audience even further. And for those of you watching on Periscope, because I can see you guys too, do me a favor, hit that retweet so that people can see us and that they can also watch. That will also help. Thank you. All right, guys. I guess it's my turn for my picks because I had a nervous look at the computer last week. It got to about 12 o'clock
Mm.
on Saturday night. And I was like, oh shit, I've not made my picks. So I was just about
Oh,
to.
you got lucky. What you say? You got lucky.
Ola, I thought all the gap I just closed this guy and he's now opened it back up with his picks. And I noticed the date and I was like, oh, thank God. So, yes. Um,
Boy, you breathing down my neck, man. I don't like it.
uh,
I was actually pissed off that the show didn't happen last week, man. You know what I mean? So you got a chance to catch man up.
no, I'm not doing a
Mad.
will. I'm not doing a will. I refuse to do a will in this situation. Sorry, Will, if you're watching this. Let's be real, because I know he's salty about that situation. Like, what? What do you mean? So, yeah. All right. Let me.
Okay. Do you want to pull up prelims? We only did three each, so you can get your free out. So I can put it on the in the Bible.
All right, guys. So,
Big up
yes.
everyone in the chat. I see Dante, Diego. I see you, man. Salute to you guys. Epic 9. You mans are the best. We do this because of yous. You get me? Yeah, man. Big love,
For
big love,
anyone who
big
doesn't
love.
know what we're doing at the moment, usually We look at every single UFC event that's on during the weekend, and we make our predictions and our bonus picks and things like that, and that goes towards and essentially it all goes towards the score, and then whoever's on top
Winner takes all.
is money. Not a lot of money, but it's more about bragging rights.
It's yeah, absolutely. But you
So,
also got a little incentive, you know what I mean?
yeah, the money just makes it. It's just like me and my friends when we play poker. We don't generally tend to play for more than 50 to 60 quid, which is not a lot in the grand scheme of things.
Of
But
course.
it just it puts a little sweet cherry on the bragging rights. It always makes it taste a little bit better. So yeah. All right, let's go for some picks. We're starting the prelims or what? How did you guys do it?
Yeah, prelims on the Jazinho Sakai fight, we pick three each, and then on the main card, you do all your picks on there. So we've already done our picks last week. So I'm gonna leave mine how it is. We just race through yours, get yours down in the Bible, and then we'll talk about current events.
All right, let's do it. Guys, as you can imagine, given the fact that we essentially did this week's show last week, don't this week's show won't be a huge show. So that was a lot of the reason that we could afford to start late because we knew it wouldn't be. It's not going to run an hour and a half, or may not even run an
Uh,
hour. So, um, don't be too alarmed
yeah,
by the
it's
time.
not. It's not even that huge of a card neither. But
Yeah.
I do think there's gonna be a lot of knockouts on this card though.
Okay.
It's just yeah, bare heavyweights, man. There's a lot of heavyweights on here.
All right. Let's start off with one I know you would have picked.
Oh yeah.
I think you'd have gone Latifi. Um, Canada. Do Canada have good fighters other than GSP?
Uh,
Uh,
they they are Felicia Spencer.
what did she lose the other day? Um,
Sorry, Canada. If you're from Canada, you know, Miss Melina, yeah, I love you guys, man. You know what I mean? But yeah. Sorry, but you know what I mean? Like
I'm gonna go
Felicia
Tanner
Spencer,
Bossa.
man.
I'm gonna go Tanner Bossa. I will do. I think Latifi. I'm going against age more than anything. The dynamics as well. 6'2", 5'10". I'm gonna go for Tanner Bossa here by knockout.
Okay, Talabosa's locked in. It's locked in for you. Okay,
Um,
you got two more fights to pick.
like going to the ladies, as you know. So
Yeah.
let me check out this flyweight belt if it will click on it. Um, if it won't click on it, I don't know what's happening now.
Yeah, that's the main cards.
Okay, let me come back to that one. Um, see that one clicks, no problem. Uh, let's go for the Brit in this one, even though I don't normally like betting against Brazilians.
So you're going with Mason Jones, yeah?
Going with Mason Jones, yeah.
Okay. You got one more on the prelims.
Can you give me Montana's record, just in case it doesn't click on it? 'Cause I don't know what's going on with the UFC website. Not having it. Not
Montan.
having to have it.
Actually, she's not on my list. You talking about the Ariana Lipski? I think
Yeah,
that's on. I think that's on the early prelims too.
there is no
Not
edit.
sure.
Just prelims and main event. So let's like
Yeah,
fight cancelled. Because obviously they did weigh-ins today, didn't they?
yeah. Hold on.
Maybe it's cancelled. All right, then never mind. King of Kung Fu. Let's go.
We got on that
Muslim.
one. Muslim. Okay.
Yeah.
Muslim Salikov.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all. That's all you're free on the prelims. You want to jump on the main card?
Yep. Okay, so Tom Breeze versus Antonio Arroyo.
Okay, Antonio
Arroyo.
Arroyo.
Um,
Do you want a little bit of stats on them? Or you got.
what's their last fight stats?
Arroyo lost to Darren Wynn. They're both coming off losses. And Tom Breeze lost to Omari Akhmedov. And yeah, this is happening at 185. Middleweight bout.
Go for Tom Breeze.
Okay.
I was a 50-50 one. I could barely celebrate him.
Yeah. Next one.
There's another one that might be cancelled because it's not allowing me to click on it. But if it isn't, just for the record, I'm picking Dusko. So just for the record.
Dusko Todorovic.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, 1 sec. Dusko Todorovic. Okay. We got Ponzinibbio and Baeza.
Yeah, this one is going to be interesting. Because the entire time I kept thinking to myself, I bet Santonio takes his Santiago, I should say, takes his over. That's what I kept thinking. It's been my gut feeling the entire time. And yet here I am now, D-Day's here, and I'm going against it. I'm going with this Miguel Baeza.
We're going with Baeza.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this Santiago's last fight was Woodley, wasn't it? Am I wrong?
Li Jingliang.
Oh, no, okay. Someone else I'm thinking of. Okay.
The next one up, you got Roman Dolidze versus Tapoli.
Oh, shit. Roman Delize.
Okay, Dolidze. this has been good, chick. Big ticket. Walt Harris versus Marcin Tybura.
I hope I'm wrong.
Uh,
Like Tyre Bora is the person I'm picking. I hope I'm wrong. I'd love Walt Harris to win this.
but you're not picking him to win.
No.
And that's the premise last week as well. We all want him to do well, but I just don't think he's going to pull it off. And so,
I'll be honest with you, because I always thought he was a bit limited prior to
mm,
the tragedy, and then obviously since that's happened,
yeah, that took a lot out of him.
you wouldn't be a human being if you didn't A feel sorry for him, or B, like you say, if you were in his position, surely it kills your killer instinct. It just
Yeah,
it would.
at 37 years old as well. You know what I mean? Like,
37 years old, you don't have the greatest record as it is in 13-8. I feel sorry for him. I feel like the only thing I can think of though is sometimes, and I'm sorry, I'm saying this not as a racist thing. I'm just saying this as just I know our people, I know black people, right?
mm,
Sometimes when you face that much tragedy and you face that much adversity, and you're at a point in your life where someone is coming to take food off your table permanently. Let's face it, if he loses this fight, I think
people
they'll
get
cut him.
caught.
I think they'll cut him, yeah. Um, I- at that point, you may just find dig deep down and find that extra gear, and we do that. We stay doing that.
Mm.
So that's the only thing I can think of. But I still don't think it'll be enough. I think that Taya Bora will essentially win this fight. I think he's just the better fighter anyway. So
Yeah,
yeah,
his skill level is. I think his skill level is so much better.
yeah,
Um, he's on a fantastic win streak. He's putting people away.
yeah.
So, um, okay.
Um, and then finally,
Yeah, the main.
you got the heavyweight clash that no one cares about. This is the only problem with my man is he needs to find himself a different marketing because at the moment no one seems to really care when he fights, and that's Jarzinho. He's
Yeah,
a
Biggie
knockout
boy.
artist, but it's just like, well, you're kind of like a B-Tech Ngannou, stroke Derek Lewis,
Oh,
and other than that, people don't really give a shit. Because I ain't gonna lie, I don't even know who this Saki guy is. Well, I'm being told that he's like really good.
yeah. Sakai is good. Tough, tough brother. He's got a decent record on him. I think he's only lost to Arlovsky and Overeem, to two OGs, two veterans. And
Mm-mm.
in those two losses, I actually picked the veterans to beat him. But I think all of the wins that he's had up until now, they've been legit wins as well. So he definitely got hands, and I think he's the more technical fighter out of the two, actually. Um, but again, Biggie Boy's only lost two as well. So they both only just lost two. They're both coming off losses. Biggie Boy is lost to uh, Francis Ngannou and Cyril Gane. Which is no shame losing to them two neither. So when you look at the two that these two has lost to, is now coming to a head where both of them have to. This is one of those they both lost two in a row.
Never crossed a
A
big fight.
third one, then I start to look at you sideways. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't
You
think
know what I mean, in that position.
I don't know. I don't think like any of them's gonna get cut or anything. But I suppose, like you say, this is kind of one of those fights where you separate yourself from being, say what you want about Derek Lewis. Dana loves
Yeah.
fucking Derek Lewis.
Mm.
Dana views him as a top level fighter, you know. and he is to a certain degree. Listen, sometimes
Right.
it
Against
ain't about
Francis.
it ain't about knowing 10 different martial art moves. If two are effective, who gives a shit about the other eight? Who cares? And so I think that's where he views Derek Lewis as a upper echelon fighter. He views Stipe as an upper echelon fighter, obviously rightly so. But obviously you've got your Francis, you've got your John Jones when he eventually steps up in there. Outside of that, I don't think Dana particularly rates anyone. You don't ever really see him talk about, you know, Big Boy. You don't see him talk about anyone else. So yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see if Big Boy can really put himself in that kind of upper echelon conversation. Look at Archie saying both can be binned. I miss Archie in the chat room. My man watches from distance these days. I think he works most Friday nights now, so he's not as active as he used to be. But anyway, I think Ola's logged off. Where's Ola gone? I'll hold the fort in the meantime. Um, but in the air, what I would say is, I think I'm going to go Big Boy purely on the basis that I think his power is he's just got this concussive power that I like. I don't think he's got a lot of technique per se. I think he's just a kickboxer, to be perfectly honest. And I think that's why Francis exposed him so badly. But I do think he'll be better than the other guy. Sometimes it's just about having more of an X factor than the other guy. And even if that X factor is power, so be it. You know? So yeah, it is what it is. Let's see. I hope Ola takes that down because he's disappeared. He's supposed to be the one to take. I hope he's at least in the chat room. Got a power outage, trying to revise some shit. Bear with me. Do you know what? Fair play, because I had a power outage weirdly this morning. Around 11, I just had this power outage. I was like, what the fuck? Literally everything powered down. I was like, I know I paid the electric bill. I know I did. So, yeah. So Ola, I hope you're listening. Biggie is my choice. In terms of fight of the night, um, I'm going to go fight of the night. I did see it earlier. I'm going to go fight of the night. What's the first main event fight? Is this one? I think this will be a banging fight. So I'm going to go for one of those as fight of the night. And then I'm going to go for I'm going to go for Biggie Boy as a performance of the night. So there you go. Those are my two bonus picks. And yeah, let's go from there and let's talk about that. I'm hoping he's picked that up. In the meantime, I'm going to move it on. So I hope you guys are well. Oh, I've seen Ola in the lobby. There you go. Have you seen what I
Yes.
picked for my bonuses?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of. Yeah, I got it. I got it.
Uh,
I was listening on my other phone. This one ran out, so I got
okay.
no choice. So.
What, lights going off like Nigeria, yeah? Running the backup
Uh,
generator.
it's one of those, man. It's one of those. What can you do?
The reason why I always laughing is if you go to Nigeria, I love the country. The one bad thing about the country is they have a constant habit of taking the electric. Just
Yeah.
randomly. They'll just randomly cut it for no reason. So every household really should have what is called a generator. I know that my mum has about 4 generators. This is just the
Yeah.
case. So it's just one of them. It's one of those notorious jokes that
It's
Nigerians
like
share.
living in the country and not having a car, man. Like the bus shut down at 6 o'clock. So
Yeah,
if you ain't got a car, you can't go nowhere, bro. You gotta pay for taxes and shit.
yeah,
So it's just one of those. You gotta have a
ridiculous.
car. Having a car in the country is like having a generator back in Nigeria. It's a necessity. You need one.
Yeah, I know that sounds mad to anyone that's listening. What they just randomly shot off? Yeah, literally, they'll just. It will be 11 p.m. Sunday, middle of winter, cold as fuck. You need the heating running. Bow, heating will go off
Gone.
for no reason. You got no choice but to bring in that generator. So yeah, it is what it is. Just something that we're just used to now. It's just one of those facts of life that we're used to.
Serious.
Um, Anyway, let's move things on. Obviously, a lot of things have happened this week in the combat world. Um, I know that I did see, what was it, Diego say, oh, he's not a boxing person, so he doesn't really know how to approach this. I don't think you need to be a boxing person to comment on this. I think,
I ain't really. You might know as well. I ain't really unboxing like that, but I got I
yeah,
got I, I got a couple things to say about it. You know what I mean?
yeah, you have a couple of opinions. Obviously, let's talk about this weekend first and foremost. And that's obviously Logan Paul versus Floyd Mayweather. Um, the most ridiculous fight you will see this year. Um, but it's happening. It's happening
It is.
by hook or by crook. It's happening, and it's going to be an exhibition fight where it goes 8 rounds. There is no judges. There's no points. It's going to be purely boxing to be knocked out. So 8 rounds to try and knock out the other opponent, essentially. Um, and yeah, it is an exhibition fight. I don't really have a lot else to say about it. I've got
I
to be
mean,
honest.
the one thing that keeps getting me is why has Floyd given up that much weight difference to Logan to get on this fight. He must know something we don't know. He's even requesting the interview that I seen him do today. He's even requesting for smaller gloves. They are 10 ounce. They started at 14 ounce, came to 12, came to 10, and right now both of them are requesting for 8 because they want to knock each other out.
Yep.
Apparently, that's what Floyd's saying. But we'll see what
Yep.
they end up getting wrapped up with tomorrow or Sunday, shall I say? But I mean, just for the heck of it,
I guess let me ask
we,
you.
what's your prediction?
Let me ask you a flat out question. For
Yeah,
$2 million, would you get knocked out by Floyd Mayweather?
I would. And if you're Logan Paul, you're thinking that, you know, just for being in the ring with him, it's a privilege. You know what I mean? That's a privilege in itself. And to get paid to get knocked out by him, why not? You know, um, I'm not entirely convinced. I'm still holding grudges against Askren. I think there's more that meets the eye, but we move on. I think if I was to pick right now, I gotta go with Floyd. Just I mean, what Floyd knows about boxing, this guy ain't even. It's not even dreamt. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? He's not even dreamt it like that.
I
And
mean,
this is a boy that KSI beat. So I don't know what else to say. You know,
the
he lost
notion,
to KSI, even though
the
it was
notion,
close.
the notion that they're going to get people to buy this fight astounds me. You're telling me that the guy that lost to KSI, who will freely admit himself is not the best boxer, right? The guy who lost to KSI is about to fight Floyd Mayweather,
Floyd
one of the best
Mayweather.
minds that there's ever been. It's just
People are
incredible.
out of their goddamn minds. I'm sorry.
It's incredible. This is the kind of fight where you feel cheated to even stream it for free.
For real.
Never mind
Yeah,
people
man.
doing it.
I ain't pay for that shit, man. Fuck that.
And I saw that Sky bought it, and I thought to myself, you must be joking. I'm not watching that shit.
Yeah, man.
Um, to me, the fight ain't. The fight that's more compelling is the Jake Paul fight, and we'll come to
Yeah.
that in a second. But this fight for me is not compelling at all. We're talking about someone who's 0-1 against someone who's 50-0,
Now
which,
let me ask you a question.
which without knowing anything else, shows you what you need to know. Someone who's 0-1 versus someone that's 50-0. That shows you everything you need to know. I don't give a damn about height, about weight. They try to add those things to try and be compelling. That, oh, Logan Paul's so much the bigger man and this, that, and the other. And if Logan Paul catches him, then
Bro,
and we're acting like Floyd has
KSI ain't that much taller than Floyd.
exactly. We're acting like Floyd doesn't have a chin. Floyd has a chin, you know. So what happens then if Logan does hit him? Then what? Then what? I mean, the whole thing is just ridiculous, and it's a shame because in a way, for me, that is more of a circus fight than the Jake Paul versus Askren one.
Mm.
This is more of a circus fight. There is nothing interesting or compelling about it. As soon as I heard it come up, I thought to myself, well, why? It doesn't even make sense. At least he should be fighting another boxer or fight someone who has retired the same length of time that he has. Fight a De La Hoya. Fine, okay. That at least to me would have been more interesting. But to fight a Logan Paul, it's just, I just heard it. And I thought to myself, this is the kind of bullshit that kills boxing. So to me, do I imagine a world where Logan Paul knocks out Floyd Mayweather? I think it's about as unlikely as it would be for anybody in this room, anybody here, to win the national lottery. But having said that,
It's
is
not
it
impossible.
no, it's not impossible. But it's about as likely.
Mm.
So with this one, don't expect any shocks. Don't expect any to wake up in the morning and your phone to be buzzing. These, you watch I'm saying all this. This is going to be famous last words. I don't expect any shocks. I do not expect Floyd Mayweather. I mean, unless he has missed steps. And I mean, don't get me wrong. I think in his last fight, he looked a lot slower, a lot more clumsy, and a lot more unfit than he normally does. And he had that fight 2 years ago. So I will preface what I've just said by saying that. But he must be, I mean, he must be slow, dim, dumb, out of form, out of shape, not taking it seriously. He must, there, literally everything, every facet would have gone wrong for Floyd Mayweather to lose to Logan Paul, for fuck's sake. So that's one thing I will say. Now, the Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley fight is a much more compelling fight to me. That to me is a much more compelling fight because you're looking at someone who, in Jake Paul, who, regardless of whether you rate what he does or not, he is someone who knocks out opponents, has played the game very well, has won, he's undefeated, he has that confidence of an undefeated fighter. He is someone who has been training for 3 years, boxing, not MMA, not losing in MMA, boxing. Whereas you got Tyron Woodley, who is a decent boxer in the ring, or can strike hands in the ring, or has good power or good explosive power, and has demonstrated that to win the title. But there's a big difference between, I can swing my hand up hard and boxing. So for me, the interesting test is not so much the Tyron Woodley factor. It's more the kind of, if Jake Paul is really serious about his life, let's see how he does against a big puncher. And Tyron Woodley represents not a UFC fighter for me. He represents a big puncher. So I'm curious to see how it deals with a big puncher more than Tyron Woodley, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I look at it, and Tyron, for all the craziness he got with the UFC, I think this is a good bout for him. And look, I have to say this right off the back, and we said it at the top of the show. I respect Jake Paul for even taking this fight, and he's cushioned himself. He's put a rematch clause in this fight contract. So even if he loses, he gets another bite at Tyron Woodley, and that's because he's given himself. He requested for this clause, by the way, so he knows there's a very good chance he could get knocked the fuck out. I think he knows that. It's not stupid. Um, but having said all of that, boxing and training in boxing is a whole lot different to MMA. And and I know a lot of people are looking at Tyron Woodley and thinking, oh, you're on a four fight losing skid, you're old guy, 40 years old, all of that stuff. Even then, I was saying at some point this morning on Mike Strick's show. But for me, if I asked you right now, if it wasn't Tyron Woodley and it was Darren Till that was in there with Jake Paul, who would you pick to win that fight? You know, if it was Darren.
Do you know what? I thought about that earlier. That was the question that came into my head earlier. I'd be more comfortable until
Exactly. And we see what Woodley did to how we dropped him and everything. Like so, and I'm not trying to do MMA math, but I'm just trying to show you Jake Paul, the taller guy, the broader guy, very, very much like Darren Till's sort of stature. Maybe a little less small, maybe a little smaller than Till, but in and around that stature, you know what I mean? And we saw what happened, but that's under MMA rules. But this is boxing now. They say Taron has only got a right hand. Jake Paul, as far as I see, with the tape that I've seen, he's only got a right hand. So let's see whose right hand is legit and whose right hand is it's not quite there yet. But I know a right hand that's a seasoned right hand. The difference with Jake Paul and the other people that Taron has not been able to use the right hand on is because they know the techniques and how to dodge that right hand. You know what I mean? Does Jake Paul know how to navigate himself in and around that right hand? And he will have his own set of traps for Taron Woodley. So it's not a gimme. This fight is not a gimme at all. But I would go for Tyron. I would back Tyron Woodley on this one, and say he gets the win.
Yeah, I think it's a difficult one. My gut instinct says Hiron has to win. I can't escape that feeling because for me it's logical. Surely. I just can't see Jake Paul having a chance. But one thing that occurred to me today, in all three fights he's had, apart from Deji, ironically,
Mm.
his face has never been tested. It's never been tested. Nate Robinson obviously never touched him. Ben Askren obviously never him. The only person that did something to him was Deji. So I can't feel like once he gets hit by someone like Tyron, and let's face it, I don't care what anyone says. They say this in boxing all the time. There's a real huge echo on your side. I can hear myself. But yeah. Dan too says echo.
I'm down to 5% on the other phone, and this other one in was back on yet. So
yeah, what I was gonna say was the one thing I would say is not been tested. He's not been hit on the chin, and I can't help but think they tell you this in boxing all the time. You better get used to being hit hard on the chin early. And yeah, people will say, "Oh, but he's been sparring. He's been sparring, motherfuckers." Jake Paul is getting sparring in. We're not talking about someone like AJ bringing sparring in. We're talking about Jake Paul in his LA mansion, paying people to come there and not to hurt him. So my feeling is, what will happen when he gets hit? For me, I think he'll retreat, and I think once he retreats against a UFC fighter, someone like Tyron Woodley, who is used to finishing people, I think he could be in deep, deep trouble. But I'll give Jake Paul this. For me, this is a much closer fight, and it's a shame for Tyron that I have to say that, but it is. I think it's a much closer fight than the Floyd Mayweather one is. I just think for me, this realistically, he's caught Tyron at the right age, the right stage of his life, the right slant to his career. Having said that, people need to realize there's a huge difference between what these pros do and what these novices do. And I don't care how old these people are, there's a huge drop off between what they can do and what they are and what these novices are doing. And I think, over the next coming months, we're going to see that. We're going to see it on Saturday. That'll be the first example of it. And I think Jake Paul's world is about to crash hard to Tyron Woodley.
And check this out as well. Mayweather has offered to train Tyron Woodley.
Yeah, I heard.
And he said he can come use the gym, all of that. The whole works.
I heard. I could imagine.
Well, what you do, I've got your hat to someone like Floyd. You know what I mean? Better know.
Why not? You've got apparently Andre Ward has already reached out to Tyron Woodley. Mayweather's reached out to Tyron Woodley. Even Gamebred has reached out to Woodley, which was a surprise. So I thought him and Jake Paul were friends, but apparently they're not anymore.
Them two were never friends.
Yeah. So they've all reached out to Woodley because they understand that this is important. This is important. And I think, to me, I think what will end up happening and how I see that fight playing out is I see Jake Paul doing well. I think first couple of rounds, I think you'll see Jake Paul display some of his boxing that he's learned over the couple of years. I think he'll look really good. And then it's just going to take one punch where Jake Paul's like, what the fuck? retreat. It's going to be too late. And I think Tyron will put the finishing touch on knockout, brutal knockout. Jake Paul in the corner. Won't want that rematch. Back to reality. Back to fighting YouTubers. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Because now they're talking about the fact that, KSI, who's been saying that once he's finished touring, he's ready to fight Jake Paul. And people are like, oh, I don't know about that. Have you seen what Jake Paul's doing? And in my view, I don't think the gap is that big between KSI and Jake Paul. The only thing I would say is that Jake Paul's been active and KSI hasn't been. So I'd advise KSI to have a couple of warm-up fights before then going on to the Jake Paul thing.
Yeah, I think he's already got one lined up. I forgot the brother's name.
Yeah. So I've heard. My sister.
He announced it the other day.
Yeah, I think he's
help us out with it if you remember who KSI is meant to be fighting. They announced it. But
yeah, I've heard. I've heard. So yeah, I think from my perspective, let's just see what happens. Good luck to Logan. Good luck to Mayweather. I actually like Logan a little bit. He seems, especially when you compare him to a brother.
He's a bit more chill than his brother, isn't it? He's a bit more chill than his brother.
He seems all right. He seems okay. I wouldn't. He wouldn't be my first choice of people. But yeah, he seems okay. But that idiot brother of his, I hope he gets sparked out. I ain't
There's
gonna lie.
always family, bro. You know what I mean? You can't choose your family.
Yeah. So let's see what happens. So there's that. Was there any other announcement that came through? Oh yeah, Max Holloway versus Yair Rodriguez. That announcement came through. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm happy about that. I'm happy about that bout. I can't get too excited about it because of COVID. We know what COVID been doing to these cards. So every time I get excited about a card, COVID shows his ugly head and takes that fight away from me. So
I mean, honest being modest, he's more worried about what Yair would do because he has a habit of pulling out. Right.
all time. Yeah, yeah, he is one of those PlayStation kind of fighters, isn't it? He can pull anything out anytime. He don't even know what he's gonna do. And Max is like that as well. Like Max said, I make it up as I go along. I learn this shit off PlayStation.
No, you misunderstand me. We're talking about COVID pulling the fight out. I'm talking about Yair. He'll probably give us something to pull out of the fight. He's cancelled that many.
Bro, I'm predicting that now to be fight of the night. Today. I don't know when they pick the day. I don't know when. I just know that fight of the night. I'm picking that right now. It's gonna be crazy. And by the way, people, let me just drop this one bit here. By the way, people, if you've not seen it yet, go and look for it on BT Sport. The Ultimate Fighter season 29 is here. Brian Ortega, Alex Volkanovski. The first fight is gone down. Ortega's boy won. It's 1-0 Team Ortega to against Volkanovski's team. Brilliant fight up.
But it's a spoiler alert. Sorry about that.
Hello.
I said you should have said spoiler alert. You just told people the result.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Like I said, go back and watch it. It's already out there. But go back and watch it. You know what I mean? Really, really good fight. And they got fantastic bantamweight and middleweight on there. This shows this season is gonna be crazy. And yeah, I should have said spoiler alert, but you know what? It's out there. Go and check it out. Top 29 is gonna be big this time.
And then finally, as Nico says, Dana White has confirmed that Usman versus Colby will be next. They've been in negotiations for a little while, but I think that's going to be towards the end of the year now. I know that Dana's been eager to run this one back because of the way the first fight went. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, you're still confident.
I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, I think he could get it done. I think Colby will come with a slightly different game plan. I think he'll try and wrestle Usman a little bit more,
Yeah, absolutely.
which arguably should have done in the first fight, and at least try and change the level after a few rounds. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see where that goes. A nice fight, well made, and yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Unless I'm forgetting about anything.
No, the only thing I'm remembering right now is about like 1%. This could go anytime. So
Okay, cool. All right.
with,
Well,
with I think this is a perfect way to end it.
all right. Well, in that case, let me let you all go. We'll catch you guys next week. We'll be back up to our usual three people
Oh no,
presenting. Keep an eye out on this channel. I would strongly advise to hit the notification bell because we're going to start introducing more pre pre-recorded stuff on the channel, which you'll find interesting. So there'll be topical videos. There may be videos about lists, about various different things. So keep an eye on this, on the video, on the channel, excuse me, by hitting the notification bell and subscribing. Other than that, we are out of here. Enjoy your weekend. Take care. And Ola,
salute.
salute. There you go. Take care.